Welcome everyone to this month's edition of the BPF call. We're talking about holographic mutation on the immune points, and also, it's not a body process. Like holographic mutation is the body process. We do it on the immune points. There's also in the 3-day manual, there's holographic mutation on the bars points. That isn't something that's available for you guys to teach as a class. But you can inform the people obviously coming to the holographic mutation on the immune points class that it could also be run on the bars points. You're just not, facilitating those classes, as that needs to be a prereq, and you have to be a bars facilitator to do bar stuff. So we just made it easy and didn't do that. But you can always tell people that, in your class, that if they're running bars, they can try and run bars with holographic mutation too outside of the class. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Now I want to take a nap. Okay, so everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation will you destroy and uncreate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Cool. Any questions about holographic mutation stuff? Okay. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And what mutation are you unwilling to allow your body to be? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Where did my screen go? So I don't think we don't really need the one sheet. The one sheet about it, but obviously we have holographic mutation run on the immune points. Remember, the immune points are third eye, thymus, liver, spleen, and kidneys. Everyone wants to know, what is holographic mutation? Well, a hologram is a 3D image, like a light-based image. You've all seen what a holographic image would be. It has to do with a light interacting in a way that presents a 3D image of, a body or a head or whatever it is. And then, do you all know what a mutation is? Talking about like a change in the genome structure. So I'll put those two together in some weird way. The other thing is, please remember, it's like when you try, the point isn't to try and define what these things are or what they mean. Yes, the one sheet does have that text. Oh, it does? All right, there we go. Wait, let me go look up the one sheet. I was bad and I didn't look it up. I forgot that it has the thing on it that talks about it. I'll just read it. If I can find it quickly on Box. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation will you destroy and uncreate all of that. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Holographic means that it only appears to be. It isn't definitely. Holographic is about recognizing the future and creating it. that is written on the one sheet right below. But yeah, so something that's like, if there's a hologram or if it's a holographic image, then it's not the, what it appears to be. It's, it could look real, but it's actually light-based, so you could move your hands through it. It's not solid. So everything you defined holographic mutation as that it isn't, to make sure you never have to be holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Everything you've defined holographic mutation as that it isn't, that keeps you from being a holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Questions about running this? Anything that came up when you guys tried it out? I like it. Everyone's afraid of holographic mutation. Or it makes no sense, so your brains can't even compute. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Yes, question from Spanish.
Yeah, they're wondering because in the one sheet it says that it talks about the future and how to create it, and they're asking if you could talk a little bit about that, please.
Cool. Yeah. So is the future solid? Is the future real? Or is the future you keep looking at creating just one of the very like many possibilities of what could become your present? You look at it like the future isn't solid. It hasn't occurred yet. It's not something that, is solid or is, real, as it hasn't come to pass yet. But do you tend to want to try and make your future solid and real? It's a sure thing. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And like they're saying, holographic means that it only appears to be. It isn't definitely. So it's, it's also, it appears to be like this, but is that real or is that true? But most oftentimes we have this idea of, whatever we see things as is the way it is, and it's definitely that. Well, what if that's not true? So everything you define holographic mutation as that it isn't, that keeps you from being the holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, puck and pod, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds.
So again, from Spanish, does that mean, that's the question, does that mean that when we use the process, it contributes to solidify the future?
It contributes to, sorry, I got a Skype message right as you said something too.
Okay, the question is, does it mean then that when we run the process, does the process contribute to solidify that future?
No, it doesn't contribute to solidifying the future. The point is you don't want like when you solidify anything, you end up trapped by it. And it's like a fixed point of view. So it's just like, how many fixed points of views do you have about the future you're going to have? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shirts, boys, poets, and beyonds.
So in this case, it would be the opposite. The process, in terms of the question, the process would help to unsolidify that future.
Well, just ask, if running this, will it contribute to you desolidifying your future? But also, like, please keep in mind, when we're running something on the immune points, what is that doing? Well, it's creating, we're looking to contribute to the body's immune system, right? So what is the immune system like? Making you like the immune system's about not being the effect of things, whether it's viruses or stupid people or whatever energies that are out there. It's making sure your body's capable of dealing with them and not the effect of them. So if you're willing to be a holographic mutation, what effect would that have on your immune system? Would your body be more capable or less capable? And what would that change, for your past? What would that change for your present? And what would that change for your future? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Because the thing is, a lot of these processes never do just one thing, which is why we always tell you guys about asking the body. Because when you ask the body, your body will tell you which one's going to be the most appropriate in that moment. Other questions? What bugs me is that why would we want to be holographic if it's an illusion? Well, if you're willing to be holographic, if you're willing to be illusion, would you be better at recognizing illusions? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. The other thing is you're looking at, well, if it's not real, then it's an illusion. But are there other realities available then besides, real and illusion? Because you're looking at it like, well, if it's just light and it's not solid, then it's not real. Well, but how many choices have you made in your life that aren't solid, that aren't real, and other people go, oh, you can't choose that. That's not real. You're crazy. Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. The other thing is, if you haven't noticed, I like it because you guys haven't been able to really think about anything or ask really thinky questions the whole time we've been running this process. Why? Well, for whatever reason, this process tends to wipe out people's ability to think. If you haven't noticed, you're all like, huh? What? What's holographic mutation? Which is really why it's awesome to run with on the bars points too, because it's like, ooh, it's super good. So everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Other questions? Kushbu says, I've been running it multiple times, but I just never get it. Like my mind, like in my mind, in terms of explaining it. Yeah, well, the thing is, what if there's nothing to get? What if it's not definable? You keep looking at running it multiple times is going to get you to a definition of it. But, you know, what if part of running the process is actually where it undefines things? You know, what we were talking about is, well, if it's made of light, then it's not solid, it's not real. But you keep looking at, oh, you know, like all things in your life, if you don't get it, then it can't be real. And if you don't get it, then you can't talk about it, which means, I don't know, that it's not true, or it's not something available to you, or I don't know. Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, meons. And everything you're doing, you know, to make sure, you know, if you can't describe it in your mind, that means you can't get it, or you don't get it, or you never got it. Will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and meons. You know, what does that have to do with being, knowing, perceiving, and receiving? You know, after running the process, do you be, know, perceive, and receive more? And not from a cognitive point of view, but just like yes or no. Is there a different energy that was available? Was the process running? Did that change something for you? And, you know, there might not be a thought process involved, but okay, well, that's where you just have to ask yes or no. Because lots of times with running the body processes, I don't really know what's changed, you know, sometimes until like, oh, like a week later or something like that. But I'm like, oh, wow, this is different. Or someone else notices it, you know, that's my friend. They're like, when did you change this? I'm like, what do you mean? It's always been changed. Because why? Well, for me, it changed. And so I never thought about it again. Mutation is like to be more mutant. All the points of views about ugly mutants from horrible movies. What about the X-Men movies? Mutation's awesome in the X-Men movies. And, you know, that's part of what holographic mutation can create, you know, but I know what it is. You guys just don't want to be different. You want to be normal and real like everyone else. So all the PRs and NORs you have about being normal and real like everyone else and like your family, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and meons. Do you have some examples for access mutation movies? I think any of the X-Men movies are really good. And then you could do like, I think Lucy's an excellent example too. Because she gets that stuff injected and then she starts her body starts mutating and changing. What else? I'll think of them. There's other ones too. I have to think of them though. Off the top of my head, those are the ones I think of. If I think of more, I'll mention it when they pop in to my one brain cell. So all the PRs and NORs you have about being normal and real like everyone else, will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POC, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and meons. What do I say to invite people to this class? I'm doing a class. Want to come? They're going to be like, what's it about? It's a body process. You put your hands on, ask an energy to run, and it helps you change your body and your life. Well, what's it going to change? I don't know. What would it change for you if you come? The other thing is mutation happens, you know, like people have some idea of what mutation is from a you know, cultural standpoint or whatever. It's like they talk about the mutation of a species or like evolution. It's like, well, what if you were willing to evolve into being something different than what is normal? Everything that is times a godzillion will you destroy and uncreate it all. Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, beyonds. What do I mean? Well, what if you could just know things and you didn't have to think about them? And you can just know them in advance and not even have to doubt that you knew them. You just knew them. And then people would ask how you know that. And you just said, I know it. And then it would occur and you're like, yep, I know it. I knew it. I know it. Yeah. So everything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Everything you're unwilling to be, know, perceive, and receive about holographic mutation, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Other questions? Keep in mind, we have some, we have questions. Question about bars and body processes together. Go for it. What's your question about bars and body processes together?
Hi, how are you? Okay, many years ago, in a 3 days body class, I heard that only two processes were convenient to do bars together, like threefold system frequency and the circuit. And now you see that this mutation, holographic mutation, is possible with bars, and I would like to know if every body process we can use while we are doing bars, or which one?
Yep, I'll repeat it, translator, so you don't have to worry. She was asking, she heard that, only two body processes can be run with bars, which is circuitry and trifold sequencing system. And then she's hearing about holographic mutation and running it on the bars. And so she's wondering, can you do every body process on the bars? No, there's just certain ones that work with the bars. And the three that we mentioned are they're really the only ones that I can think of that go with the bars. People like to say that you can run MTBSS with the bars, but bars aren't physically solid. MTBSS is about changing the atomic configuration. Bars don't have atomic configuration, so that really doesn't work. So there's a very few processes that work on the bars points, and there's other ones that don't. And so those are the three that you were told are the ones that help with bars.
Thank you. Is it possible to add this on the manual?
I'm sorry, in the bars manual?
No, in the process manual, so we can know which one we.
No, because in the process manual, this is about teaching the body processes, not about you teaching someone how to do a body process with bars. So you can give this information out when you're teaching the body processes, but as a whole, like it's, your job isn't to teach them how to run bars with the body process, because we don't know if people have, like all the people that are coming to your class have had bars,
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Other questions? Did I fry everyone? Only complaints today? But you haven't asked. Oh, I'm sorry. Any complaints? Problems? It's a very weird day. I went to the clearing the issues of abuse class was last weekend, and I'm still not quite sure what to do with myself, even though it's Thursday and it ended Sunday. You're welcome for these calls. They're fun sometimes. What else? So all the PRs and NORs you have that are making sure you are as normal and real and average as your family, so you don't have to be a mutation, Will you destroy and uncreate all of that? Right and wrong, good and bad, POC and POD, all 9 shorts, boys, POVEDs, and beyonds. Question, can this process be done on animals? Yeah, ask the animals. Some of the ones are like, there's certain ones that are like really good for animals, and there's some that don't work too well on animals. One of the example I know it's off the top of my head is like BMM isn't really a good one for animals. Why? Well, because they don't tend to they don't mimic people. There's lots of people that swear that they can do BMM on their animals and it's super intense. Yeah, because guess who the animal's trying to get to run BMM? You. What class did I do? I did the Clearing the Issues of Abuse last weekend that was facilitated by Gary, Grace, and Dane. It was very good. I highly recommend it if you didn't take it. What with bars, body process, with bars, else body process circuitry? I'm like, are you asking what else besides? You can do trifold sequencing system, circuitry, and holographic mutation. Touch the bars and just ask those energies to run while you're running bars. That's it. It's very easy, not complicated. Other questions? Complaints? Since I have to ask about complaints. So we have a couple things coming up, body-wise. There's the ABC that Simone's doing in London in June 18th. Oh yeah, someone's excited. Dane is also doing an ABC in Houston, August 10th, 12th, something around those dates. Wait, what? It's the second weekend in August. It's after the 9 trannies class. I know that. I don't know. 1, 2. August 11th. See, I said the 10th early. Yes, thank you. Tokyo in May. Yes, and Grace is doing an ABC in Tokyo May 6th. So lots of chances for ABCs if you guys are interested in that. I don't know what else. My brain power is almost as non-existent as yours. Next month we picked the body process. Next month, the body process is instilling the chaos as the source of humanoid immunity. And the call will be on May 26th or 25th. And then tomorrow, if you guys haven't seen, it's Earth Day, Global Symphony. They're doing a Global Symphony Wave. Is that what it's called, Betsy? Yes, yeah. And it starts, what time does it start?
Let me check, y'all. It's a kickoff with Dr. Dane, which is free, and that is starting at
11 a.m. Central Time.
Yep, 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific. So Dane will be kicking it off, and then some different symphony advanced practitioners will be doing an additional 11 hours, and that's, I think, $99 for the whole time. And so there's all kinds of information that has been emailed out to everybody.
There you go. So if you haven't heard about that, you can check your email, and it should be there. I know I got a couple emails about it. So
yeah.
Tanya, anything else that we need to announce?
Not that I'm aware of, Andrew.
Yay.
One other thing, Pam and David just literally yesterday added an all facilitator Zoom call tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, which I know is late for Europeans. But the subject is dealing with difficult people. And so there will be replays available, and a lot of the languages are going to be delayed because it was such a quick creation. But just wanted you all to have that in your awareness. So dealing with difficult people tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific time, and the information's in the Ning. If you can join us live, there's a few languages will be live, but most of them will be delayed. So come play if you can, or listen later.
Only listen if you want to be able to deal with difficult people.
True story.
You want to continue it being difficult, then don't.
Yeah.
It's not, is it on Facebook? Is the All Facilitator on Facebook, Betsy?
No, it'll be through Zoom. Yeah. And if you go to your facilitator Facebook page, the Zoom link and information is in there for English, and we'll get the live languages listed now that I'm getting them set up.
There you go. And I'm sure there's an email that went out. I
Yeah.
think I saw something about Pam.
Yeah.
There you go. So that's everything. Like we said, next month is going to be, what did I say? Instilling the chaos as the source of humanoid immunity. And it's going to be on May 25th. Oh, and there's a date and time. There you go. We already have, oh, that's the date and time.
That's for the difficult
Pam.
people.
That's for difficult people, not for me. I am a difficult person, but that is not the time and date for me. Okay, well then, thank you, everyone, and we'll do next month. Continue on doing more body processes. Oh, there's the time and date there. Anya posted it. Thank you, everyone. Bye. Thank you,
Thank you.
translators.
Thank you.
Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, everyone.